I've covered many consoles on this channel. I've talked about the Nintendo GameCube, I've talked a lot about the original Xbox, and I've delved a little bit into the Sony PlayStation 2. And so you would think that that would cover all of the 6th generation consoles, right? Well, no. There's one major console manufacturer around the 2000s who I have not covered in any of my YouTube videos on my channel, and that would be Sega. And in case you missed the title of the video, today I'll be talking about my Sega Dreamcast console and how I got it. So basically, I've had this console for about maybe 3 or 4-ish years or so, and I got it from a guy who worked at some kind of a recycler, or like some kind of a recycle depot kind of thing. And he sold to me for 35 bucks, and what it came with was the unit itself, but it also came with one OEM Dreamcast controller, which I have right here, which actually looks to be in not too bad condition. It came with this third-party rumble pack, and it also came with this emerald green VMU unit, which works just fine. I just haven't replaced the batteries in it in a while. But to my surprise, when I bought this Dreamcast off of this gentleman, I didn't actually open the disk drive, and to my surprise, it actually came with Sonic Adventure 1, which basically would have been the first title I would have bought for the Dreamcast. And I was just so happy to see that in there because I wasn't expecting it to be there. And so that made me very much happy. I felt like I got a really great deal for a Dreamcast in like 2021 or so, or 2022. But there's also one other thing, because this is a North American region Dreamcast, but also when you flip it to the bottom and you turn it around, you will notice there's this little 1 here next to the region code, and what this means is that what I have here is a VA1 region Dreamcast. Region is not the right word, but it's a VA1 variant Dreamcast. And what that means is this console is capable of playing burned Dreamcast discs without any hardware modifications to the unit. And this also applied for VA0 Dreamcasts. It wasn't until they made VA2 model consoles where this was patched. And so basically what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is I'm just going to power it up, show you around the menus, and I want to show as well 2 glitches in Sonic Adventure that I know of. So without further ado, I'm going to get my Dreamcast hooked up to my capture card. And speaking of which, in terms of how I output my Dreamcast, the first cable I bought, which this did not come with the console, was this Hyperkin HDMI adapter. So basically, one end goes to HDMI out, that would be this end, and the other end plugs into the Dreamcast's video output, which looks like this. And you will see that when I hook it up to my capture card, the video looks quite impressive. So without further ado, I'm going to get everything set up, and we'll start by browsing the Dreamcast menu. So now that I have my Dreamcast set up next to my capture card, we're going to take a look at the main menu. But also, I forgot to show this almost, but I did make a custom jewel case for Sonic Adventure just so that it's not always in its loose disk state like that, so that I have somewhere to store it. This is obviously not original, and you can definitely tell by the fact that the Sega Dreamcast text is kind of blocky around the edges. But either way, I tried my best to give it a place where I can store it safely, while also making it look somewhat original. There's no manual, I didn't print that out because it's too many pages. So I'm going to turn on the unit, and we will take a look at the actual menu system. Alright, so I got my Dreamcast booted up, and as you can see, the date is set to the default because the clock battery on my console is dead. The clock battery in the Sega Dreamcast is a rechargeable battery, so you can't just replace it with a similar one. It has to be of a rechargeable nature, or else it won't work. This is Editor Nick here, just making a small correction to the statement I just made a second ago. And basically, it is possible to use a standard CR2032 battery in your Dreamcast. All it basically requires is you have to get a CR2032 battery holder, and you also need a very specific diode that you basically just solder in between the resistor and the diode here on the board, and then you can seemingly use just more common CR2032 batteries in your Dreamcast. Another thing that I do want to bring up, which I also kind of forgot was a thing, but there's also a fuse that's on the underside of this board, I believe. Oh no, sorry, it's on the top side right here. This little thing here is a fuse. And basically, if you unplug any Dreamcast controller while the console's powered up, you can basically blow that fuse, which will prevent the controller ports from working until you replace that fuse. And so there's also a mod for that to basically make it so if the fuse basically breaks, then you can just reset it by shutting off your Dreamcast after a couple of minutes. So I just wanted to insert this in there because while what I said is technically true, you can mod it so that you can use more common CR2032 batteries. I'll leave these links in the description for these 2 pages that explain further in depth what you need to do these. And now we'll continue on with the video. So I'm just going to set the time to the default, but basically this is the menu system for the Sega Dreamcast. It's pretty straightforward and simple. So when you load a GD-ROM such as Sonic Adventure, you would just close the lid and hit play, and that would start the game. Here is the memory card management menu, or for the VMU, and this is what it looks like. So currently I have my green virtual memory unit, which I have loaded into my controller. And these are the save files that are on this memory unit. We got a Dino Crisis save, we got Shenmue, we have a Sonic Adventure 2 save, a Sonic Adventure 1 Chow Garden save. There's my actual save file for Sonic Adventure. There's a save for Half-Life, which can be run from a burned disk. And I also have a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater save file here as well, with 47 blocks to spare. The Dreamcast was also a music player, so you could load your music CDs by accessing this tab, and obviously it would just function like a regular CD player here. The last thing of note is the settings menu. You can set the language here to whichever language you prefer, but I'm just going to keep it set to English. You can change the time here, change the sound from stereo to mono, and vice versa. Auto start on basically means that when you shut the lid of the Dreamcast, when you start up the Dreamcast with a disc in the disk drive, it'll basically start the game rather than going to the BIOS menu when it's set to on. When it's set to off, you have to actually manually choose the play button from the menu here. And the last one basically lets you adjust the date and time on the VMU so that it will match with the console's date and time. But we're not going to touch that. I have to replace the batteries in my VMU if I didn't already state that before. So now I'm going to load Sonic Adventure, and I'm going to show you 2 glitches. And so we're going to start that process by shutting the lid of the Dreamcast. And hopefully it will read the disc and start, because my Dreamcast has some issues with reading discs at times. At least for burn discs anyway. Like for GD-ROMs, it typically, like Sonic Adventure, it works every time, but it's kind of finicky about burn discs in some cases.
Select.
So I'm going to load my save file, and then I'm going to explain the first glitch. So if you go to adventure mode, and you pick Knuckles, there's a way to do an infinite ring glitch. I'm going to let this load in, then I'm going to stop for a sec to explain something. Okay, so let me just rotate the camera here. Alright, so basically how this ring glitch works is that you have to basically dig around the sand here on the beach, and eventually you'll find a lightning, a shield ring, a lightning shield ring, or whatever you want to call it. The magnetic ring shield, I think that's what it's called, yeah. So you'll find that after searching this beach area here for about 20 to 40 minutes. It's pure RNG, so it's just pure luck on whether or not you find it. But basically, after you find that, you could go into a hotel, or into the hotel area, and you can basically keep infinitely collecting glitches. You can keep infinitely collecting rings, and in Sonic Adventure DX, if you complete a certain level, then it would basically let you keep those rings and use them for the black market. But since the Dreamcast version of the game apparently doesn't have the black market, this glitch is kind of pointless. And so, yeah, basically, it would just take some time, but let me just show you what it would look like to do it. Oh, and look at that, I actually got the ring shield very, very quickly. So basically all you have to do is you have to go into the hotel here. And then when you go up these stairs, if you stand on this button here, then you will infinitely collect rings. But again, because this is the Dreamcast version of the game and there's no black market, this is basically a pointless glitch to do. I mean, except for the one benefit being that you could get infinite lives pretty quick. Because as you can see, after I get 100 rings, my lives counter goes up. In fact, I actually recorded this once, but I deleted the audio clip by accident. I didn't save it before I closed the program. And so that's why I already have some lives here. But basically, if you just stand here, you could basically rack up your lives counter to the max if you wanted. It's not like Knuckles stages are particularly challenging, but like I said, if you're doing this in Sonic Adventure DX, this will work, and you can actually get like 10,000 rings in like the span of an hour or something like that. But anyway, I just wanted to demonstrate this glitch because you may or may not have known about it. And again, it's not useful for the Dreamcast version, but anyway, just wanted to share that. I'll just show you the stage you would have to complete, though, if you wanted to do this glitch. But first I want it to just count up to 1,000. Just to say one more important thing. So we're about to hit 900 rings. Watch what happens when we hit 1,000. So as you'll notice, as we hit 1,000, we still got a life for it, even though the ring counter is not counting up past 1,000. And in fact, we are still actively collecting rings, it's just not updating the counter. So I can prove this by the fact that if you wait a few moments, you will see that my life counter still goes up after every 100 rings. So this is proving the fact that I'm still collecting rings and it's still counting, but it's just not updating the counter. So basically, assuming you weren't playing Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast and you were playing Sonic Adventure DX on any other platform, and you wanted infinite rings, to cash out the rings, you'd basically have to go through Station Square and go to the other side and follow where I'm going. And what you want to do is if you go through these doors here, then you can access this map. And once you finish this level in Sonic Adventure DX, it will let you keep all the rings you collected for the black market. So the next glitch that I want to show you takes place on the level Final Egg. And it's actually a really difficult level skip that would save a lot of time if you practiced it a lot. So going to trial, I'm going to select Sonic. And I'll try my best to explain how this glitch is done roughly, but I'll show you some footage of how it actually works by someone who actually pulled it off. So once you get to the Final Egg stage, you kind of just want to get past this area, and you can ignore everything, because the glitch takes place right here at the beginning of this area. You don't have to destroy these, but that's what I'm doing anyway. So how this works is that it goes like this. When you're on this ramp, if you charge a light speed dash and then spin dash afterwards, you can get shot up into the ceiling and clip out of bounds, and then land on a animal capsule that's outside the map. And once you land on it, it basically ends the stage like very quickly. I've tried for a while, but I couldn't pull off this glitch, and this is only possible in the Dreamcast version of the game. But here's how it goes. You want to start by holding X. And while you're holding X, hold B, and then let go of B before it ends. So it would look something like this to pull off the glitch. So you hold X, wait till Sonic charges up fully like this and is glowing blue. Then you want to hold B, you can let go of X, and then let go of B before it ends. And then you will go shooting up. Kind of like this. And if you do it in such a way that shoots you up high enough, then you can glitch out of bounds, and I'll show you what that looks like. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show for this video. That was me showcasing my Sega Dreamcast and what it looks like through my capture card with the HDMI adapter. So I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope you enjoyed. And so once again, thank you very much for watching. Until next time.